excited to be here tonight to celebrate with all of you and recognize the amazing gifts and programs that DSACT has to offer and the incredible community it serves. Tonight, I share a little about myself and my son, Odin, the very beginning of our journey, and how I ended up here speaking to all of you. It was April 16th, 2018, almost exactly 7 years ago. It was my 20-week ultrasound appointment, and we had a plan to celebrate this little bundle with a gender reveal party 6 days later. Odin is my second child, so walking into that clinic room that day, I thought I knew what to expect. The tech and I joked as she clicked, measured, and scanned across my belly. But she grew quiet, and I sensed that something was off. The appointment lasted a very long time in that uncomfortable silence. She finally switched out to have the doctor come in and give his assessment. He told me they had located a mass on the baby's neck called a cystic hygroma, and it was a soft marker for genetic abnormalities, likely Noonan syndrome, Turner syndrome, or Down syndrome. I didn't know what any of those words meant. I became emotional, and I asked him to help me understand. He repeated himself exactly, and then stated that he would refer us to genetic counseling and left the room. Unfortunately, the genetic counselor wasn't any better. The conversation shifted very quickly to making a decision. I was now sitting in fear and grief for my baby's safety and worried that this news would take that away from us. Trying to present a positive front, I commented, "As long as this baby is healthy, of course we want him." But her response was, "Well, that depends on what you mean by healthy." I remember feeling like the world was collapsing around me, and absolutely nothing made sense anymore. The roller coaster of that week was like nothing I've ever experienced, and because of the poor delivery of our unexpected news, it was like riding without any safeguards. Apologies, my hands are shaking a little bit. I was scared, confused, and felt so alone. My wonderful husband was there to hold my hand. He crunched the numbers regarding likelihoods, and I started looking online for information and resources. Back then, a Google search yielded a rabbit hole of terrifying medical illustrations and outdated terminology. And 2 weeks later, we received the confirmation that we had a 75 to 90% likelihood of our child having trisomy 21. How can I do this? Was the silent, painful question. One step forward was my answer. I found an online support group and another local organization, we were living in California at the time, who shared resources and offered me a shoulder. I asked a lot of questions. I refused to meet with that doctor ever again. I cried. I journaled. I processed. And I connected with other moms who were going through the same thing at the exact same time with the same emotions that I was. That connection became my lifeline and my eventual way through that fog. Odin was born at 39 weeks, and he completed our family. He was always supposed to be here. My online support group gave me access to lots of other moms, none of which were close enough to meet in person, unfortunately. But I learned that my introduction to Odin was not unique, not by a long shot. Over 65% of parents from 2018 said their diagnosis story was either bad or traumatizing and had left them reeling as well. Here's where my journey took a dramatic step forward. I realized I needed to protect my little guy, arm myself with knowledge and resilience, and start using my voice in any way that I could. I learned about medical outreach teams and found the opportunity to share best practice guidelines with medical providers, a program that DSACT offers if you're interested. I learned many other parents were struggling emotionally, especially during and after COVID. And I learned that the best, most valuable way forward was through genuine connection. In 2023, I felt compelled to use my counseling background and advocacy to offer support to new parents of children with Down syndrome. By 2024, the New Parent Support Group was born, and we actually just completed our second group a couple weeks ago. It is my hope and dream to ensure that no other parent experiences an introduction to their little miracle like we do. And it is through your generosity tonight that we can collectively ensure that future new parents are provided that support and connection that we all need. The New Parent Support Group and any others give us the opportunity to meet our families right where they're at, especially financially. Parents are encouraged to pay what they can, but participation is the focus. Your donation tonight will make sure that another family we haven't even met yet has their best possible start and welcome to our community. Thank you for sharing your evening with me and allowing me to share my story with you.